Hello, everybody. Crypto MC is on air. You know, I always like to talk to people who not just following the trends in the crypto industry, but who create the trends. And you might have heard that one of the best trends in the industry for 2021 is our Ethereum 2.0 staking and so on and so forth. And today I'm going to talk to the man who creates with the guys, the team of the project, creates something interesting in this area. Please welcome my today's guest. He's Albert Castellana Lluís. He's co-founder and CEO of StakeHound. Albert, it's great to have you on my show.
Thank you, Jin. It's great to be here. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank the two guys for this interview has been possible. First is Mr. Tlahui Calva, the base dev of StakeHound. Thank you, Tlahui, for your email you wrote me. And the second guy is my friend Felix Mago. He will be on my second interview about StakeHound. But still, guys, let's stay tuned and wait for these guys. So let's start with you with the zero question for you, Albert. It's always interesting the history. Why a couple of guys met together and decided to, establish to launch the project. Why did you, with partners, decide to create StakeHound?
Okay, so as a bit of a background, like I joined crypto in 2013. Started looking into Bitcoin, then jumped into Ethereum, kind of trying to sell that technology. It was really, really hard. And eventually ended up being one of the co-founders of this project called NEM. I joined like super early, and then it went up to like $20 billion market cap or something like this. And one of the things about NEM is that it is a proof of importance network, which is like a proof of stake network, essentially, right? You can stake NEM right now, and like one supernode which is required to do this is, I think, $500,000 just to stake one single node, right? That was kind of a good overview for me, like what it takes to build a layer one protocol. What are the challenges that you have? Like what are the things that you have to be looking into? What are the problems? What are the possibilities even? Like why is tokenomics so important? What should you be thinking on that, right? Eventually decided that was not my thing. I wanted to tackle another problem, which was scalability. And I joined Radix DLT as the chief product officer. I was there for over 2 years, and I just looked into DeFi, like essentially how should people be using this new type of technologies? How can they do stuff with it, right? We started looking into stable coins. We started looking into decentralized exchanges, essentially thinking, how can we build a wealth pool so that other developers can come in and can build to essentially sell to this customer base that we're kind of creating here, right? And while thinking about that, basically about, maybe like 7-8 months ago, something like this, we started looking into just like customer interviews, just understanding what people were worried about. And one thing that when the people were talking about like staking came to the site was there is this competition between staking and DeFi right now, right? So I don't know if you know, but essentially since August, we've seen how 40% of all the assets that were locked on staking, which in August was about like $25 billion, and now are $15 billion more or less, all those assets moved into DeFi, right? Essentially what this means is that users have to choose, like, do you want to be staking or do you want to be participating in DeFi, right? And there's not an option to do both at the same time, right? So what we're building here is, let's build a company that allows people to double dip. Let's allow people that, for example, now want to be staking Ethereum, but they don't want to have 32 Ether minimum, 2 years lockup, and so on and so forth. Let's allow them to earn the staking rewards while still be able to participate in DeFi, for example, providing liquidity, borrowing against it, and so on and so forth.
Well, the interesting story. Let's start with exploring the StakeHound. Can you briefly explain to our viewers, they do understand what is DeFi, they do understand what's staking, maybe don't, I even don't know. We'll check it out. Can you briefly explain what StakeHound does?
Right. So I'm sure that most of the audience has kind of seen this token called WBTC in Uniswap and in the space, right? A lot of pools, a lot of exchanges that have this token. WBTC is essentially a wrapped version of a Bitcoin, right? And that is because you want to be able to transfer value like 1 Bitcoin. You want to be transfer it on Ethereum, but technologically speaking, it's really hard to do that, right? So what we're doing is something quite similar. We've got people that come in, they have to do KYC and AML. That's not the normal flow of things, but essentially Ether gets deposited on StakeHound, right? What we then do is we get that Ether, we custody it on a custodian called Fireblocks, right? We have 2 custodians, Fireblocks and Copper. Fireblocks is kind of the leading custodian in the whole space. And then what we do then is we delegate the staking into a nodes. We're using all nodes as the staking provider. And what we do is our backend is just making sure to maximize the rewards of the staking and distribute tokens to the people that are sending in the ETH. So you send in 100 ETH, for example, then you're going to get back 100 staked ETH, right? We are staking those ETH. In the meantime, those are completely locked, but now you have a representation of a staked ETH. And now you can go in Uniswap, for example, and you can sell it to someone else, right? Or you can provide liquidity to it, right? What's going to happen is that we will every single day be distributing rewards to the people that are holding the STETH. You will now have 100 STETH in your wallet, and tomorrow you're going to have 101. Why? Because every single day when we get the ETH, we do what's called a rebase, right? Essentially, we distribute the rewards through a rebase so that you always know how many representations of ETH in the staking mechanism you have right now. And that means that, for example, you can go into Uniswap and you can provide liquidity to it to earn both from the staking rewards and the trading fees.
Well, we've got an idea. So you are mentioning a liquid staking, and can you please explain what that means and how users profit from a service?
Absolutely. So like liquid staking is essentially the generic term for this, right? It's like if you do staking, you're illiquid because normally you can't move those assets, right? In order for you to earn the rewards of the staking, you can't move those assets, so they are illiquid. How can we make them so they are liquid? How can we make them so that you can be transferring that value while those assets are still locked and earning rewards, because that's how the staking mechanism works. That's liquid staking, right? So essentially back to that competition I was saying before about like, do you want to be doing one or the other? We believe in this middle ground, the liquid staking ground, where it's like you can just by holding an asset be getting the rewards of the staking of that asset.
Well, how is liquid staking different from other staking options our viewers might have known? For example, Ethereum 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, like Ethereum 2.0 is quite complicated, right? Like you need to be running a node. You need to have a BLS signature, which is not something that most people are used to. You need to be waiting for 2 years. Like, that probably people that are staking Ethereum 2.0 will have to have their ETH locked for the next 2 years. And yes, you see a big number, like right now it's about like 15% yield. But the reality is that as people jump in and as more people will start staking, the yield will go down as well for the staking, right? So imagine that it goes to 10%, to 5%. Would you have your ETH locked up for the next 2 years in exchange for a 5% APY? Would you do that? Probably not. Exactly. So
Probably not.
right? So that's the thing, right? How can I do it so that you can be earning the staking rewards while not being locked, right? And like, yes, if you're staking yourself, you have to have a minimum of 32 ETH. You don't have this minimum here. You can just go into Uniswap and buy 1 staked ETH and you got it, right? Or 0.1, doesn't really matter. But essentially it's accessible for everybody. It actually is much more democratic. It's much more easy to use. Like you don't need to have the setup of the nodes and so on and so forth. And it's just like better user experience, nothing else, right? So, well, better user experience and better yield as well.
Well, you have mentioned the HOUND token. What is the benefit of the HOUND token? What can I do with it?
Yeah, so just to clarify, like a StakeHound has multiple tokens, right? There's one type of token, which are the layer 1 protocol tokens that are wrapped, right? Those are like the STETH, the STDash, the STZEM, the STZcoin, the STFiro in this case. Like all these different layer one protocols that have their own islands and their own ecosystems, right? What we're doing is we're building bridges between them, right? So that you can go and from I think it's January, you're going to be able to go into Uniswap and you're going to be able to buy some stakedETH, ST- directly on Uniswap. That is something that right now you can't do, right? So all these different tokens, you're going to have them, and we're going to be issuing more and more every single month, just representation of a staked token in this case, right? So that is one type of token. The other one is kind of the protocol token, right? Like protocols are using tokens because it's the best way to incentivize and align incentive with the different stakeholders so that things happen in a specific way, right? The main goal of StakeHound is to make sure that the different staked tokens are highly liquid. You want people to be able to get in and out easily, right? So you have ETH. If you want to be kind of getting the STETH, you can come to us, but you're going to have to do some KYC and AML. But I can't stop you from going into the market and basically trade it on the open market with other people, right? Now, we want that to be the main flow where people are actually going, right? In order to do that, what we need is liquidity in the system. How do we incentivize liquidity? Well, we issue a token, that's the HOUND token. It's a governance token, right? That will be useful for people to essentially choose how the reward should be distributed, right? So there's going to be about 5% of the reward of the system that will be distributed to the people that are providing liquidity, right? It's kind of the enablers of the system are getting an extra reward versus the users of the system. And the ones that, like, the way to govern this mechanism will be through the HOUND token. The only way to achieve, the only way to get HOUND token is to essentially onboard assets and then provide liquidity. It's the only two ways to earn this token.
Well, how can users participate in stakedETH? You call it staking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's two ways mainly. One is like, if there's no problem doing KYC and AML, just go into stakehound.com and you'll see there that there's like different like rows for every single stake token. Obviously, there's the STETH like row, and you can just go there and try to sign up, essentially do this KYC and AML process to then send in the ETH, and then on the 7th of December, you're going to be receiving the STETH directly into your wallet, right? One-to-one, right? And the other way is just like, if you see this essentially on the 8th of December and onwards, you can just go into Uniswap and you can just buy STETH on the market just to get the benefits of it, right? So, just send in one ETH to Uniswap and get back one STETH, and that's it. Like, it's just that's simple.
Yeah, sounds simple. Apart from Ethereum, what else can users expect from StakeHound in the upcoming month?
Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing right now is that the main trend of the industry is to go into a proof of stake kind of fashion, right? The reason is, less electricity, less machinery, right? Like, the whole thing is much easier to deal with. So what we're doing is we're going to be building these bridges between every single layer one protocol that's a staking. So right now we're already officially partnered with Dash, with NEM, with Zcoin, with Matic, with Horizon. We've got multiple layer one protocols that are interested on having this bridge built between their ecosystems and the DeFi space. And we're going to be building an ST token for each one of them, right? And what we need to do is we just are working on building the utility around those tokens so that they can be, borrowed, you can use them as collateral for a loan, for example, right? There's going to be many different applications for these tokens, and you're going to be able to just like, in other words, right? Like, if you don't want to be staking it because of the lockup, you can just go and you can just provide liquidity for ETH versus a staked ETH, right? If you do that, you will be getting the reward from the staking side of the STETH, plus the reward of the trading fees of the Uniswap pool. And there's no impermanent loss here, you see? Because it's a one-to-one. So would you rather have your ETH sitting on your wallet and be diluted because people are getting this 20% between all of them, right? Or would you rather be providing some liquidity, earning the trading fees, and be liquid at any point in time that you can just sell it and move on, or whatever you want to do with it, right? That's the vision. That is the main use case, is allowing people to do that.
Well, Albert, we've almost come to the end. Is there anything else you would like to add and finish about talking.
No, like, well, thank you very much, Jim, for the invitation. I think it's great. I think like what we're seeing right now, like actually Ethereum 2.0 launches in about like 20 minutes from now. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to see what's actually happening and like how people are reacting. I'm very happy to see how the industry is moving towards this new direction. And just like I would just invite people to join the StakeHound channel in Telegram. Just like follow us and just try to understand what liquid staking is, try to participate, understand that this is just like, it's probably going to be just a better way to hold tokens than the ones we had right now. So just, yeah, thank you very much, Jim.
Well, it would have been wrong that I would have asked you about the Bitcoin price. What I think about this, maybe all-time high. Bitcoin yesterday costed 1980 dollars per unit. What do you think about why is related with?
I mean, you can see how all these different companies now, like Grayscale and MicroStrategy and Square and PayPal, all these guys are really adopting Bitcoin. And right now you have more people buying Bitcoin than Bitcoin being produced every single day. That is not something that like, in other words, there's no other way it can go, because just, like the economics are so obvious. Like you can see, that's the beauty of the blockchain. You can see transparently what people are doing, right? Bitcoin, like we are in 2020. It's been a tough year for everybody, right? I really hope that 2021, like with a lot of people getting access to this, will be an amazing year for all of us. So
yeah, one more bonus question. What should we expect from 2021, except current time, coronavirus, and so on? I mean, in industry, what are the main trends? What should
so I think that we're really going to start seeing some central bank digital currencies and what that means, right? We're going to see Libra coming out and really opening the doors to everybody to participate. We're going to see how really PayPal will be accessible to, like, will give access to every merchant, for example, to transact with crypto, right? That will be, I think that we're seeing how over the last just few months, like 6 months or something like this, when the market starts picking up, like people look again, and then every single company that until now was kind of disregarding it and wasn't sure about, like, oh, will this last? I think it's obvious to everybody now that this is not going to be disappearing. And when that happens, people go from, oh, I don't want to be looking at this, at, oh, I'm late and I must look at this in a rise. So you can expect a lot of different companies to put Bitcoin as their treasuries. You can expect a lot of things to be happening on the institutional space. That's one of the reasons why StakeHound is like you going through the KYC ML process instead of trying to make it so that anyone can participate. Just like, you want to be on a clean space, right? You want institutions to be able to come in and use these different assets that you're creating, because otherwise they won't be able, and you will be left aside, right? So I think that we're going to see very, very big changes on the AML and like on the regulatory space, very big changes. Like, for example, I'm sure you're seeing how a lot of people are getting mails from Binance saying, hey guys, we need to close your account because I see that you're in the US, for example. Different things that are happening right now that are speeding up really, really quickly that will change how the space is. We're going into a much more serious space than we have been until now. Yeah. So.
Wow,
yeah,
thank you. And the third and the last bonus question. You are in Spain right now, and I heard that Spain is very progressive, very innovative country regarding crypto. How many people around you, simple people, like say the simple population, use cryptocurrency, use crypto wallets in their day-to-day life? The percentage of the population.
It's hard to say now, first because of coronavirus. So it's been a year where people haven't been very, very like interacting as much as normally, right? While in the crypto space, everything has been changing. I think that maybe 10% of the people right now have crypto here. Transacting in a day-to-day, not at all. Like, it's very, 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 very few people that are actually doing this, right?
Sounds very optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, even 10% is probably even optimistic, really. Just like some people, just like I've got people that like got some Bitcoin a while back or something when, like in 2017. But that's the thing, like we're heading into a market where everyone is gonna hear about crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum for the next few years nonstop. So like that will I mean, I think that this is the time that it changes, right? Like, well, I mean, we thought the same in 2014, we thought the same in 2017, but like now like when you see central banks coming in with CBDCs, and when you see like big companies pouring like, you know, $450 million and putting it on their treasuries, it speaks really, really loud to a lot of people. So that's very good.
So ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin has been victoriously marching on the planet Earth for 12 years since 2008. And it was a great pleasure to talk to you, Albert. Hope we
Thank you very
will
much,
talk to you soon. And please, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the next interview with Felix Mago, explaining the potential collaboration of StakeHound with other blockchains. And if you need a simple wallet to start using crypto, to buy crypto with fiat or to sell crypto with fiat, please use trusty wallets behind me. It's very simple. Well, and please download on referral link in the description. Albert Castellana Lluís, the co-founder and CEO of StakeHound, and me, Eugene Creepy MC, were you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next interviews. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.